Distribution and Retail. Our president, of course, Mr. Wayne Keynes, and our managing director, Azim Khan. As persons would know, today at 3 p.m., we had approximately 3 p.m., we had an island-wide outage. We continue to assess life safety first, as well as assess equipment and our assets to ensure the integrity of the grid as we continue to restore restoration. At this particular time, we can notify the public and the stakeholders that we have no reported injuries at this time, or no known injuries in terms of personnel as well as public. We continue to work to restore and to assess the situation to understand the cause of the particular outage. Also, we'd like to remind our customers that this is a time of restoration, so we are mindful of any persons with health-related circumstances to go to the hospital. We can communicate that the hospital as well as parts of Hamilton and the city have been restored. So our teams continue to work diligently to restore restoration, and we will continue to do so until the entire island is restored with power. In addition to that, we also have the EMO that is assembled here at Belco in terms of any support and information to ensure that the island has effective communication by all agencies, and we have the minister here as well to support. In addition, we continue to update the public. Our teams continue to work diligently, and we are here for the long haul, understanding that this is a process. We will be methodically going through the process of restoring our generation, which continues, as well as looking at the integrity of our grid, and then restoring more and more customers as we bring on more generation. This is a balancing act. It has to be a very methodical process, requires a number of safety features, requires a significant support. Our teams are here, available and ready to restore, and to continue to work into the night to restore our customers.
I'm going to take any questions that you might have directly thereafter. I'm going to invite the Minister of National Security, the Honourable Michael Weeks, to the podium, and he will field any questions and make a statement if that is indeed his choice.
Sean Connery from the Royal.
Hi, Sean.
Hi. Do you know how many people have been impacted and how many are still out?
It was an island-wide outage. We are bringing back on our customers in a systematic way. Right now, we are excited to share that the process has commenced, and we have people in the city of Hamilton that are indeed back on, and the hospital is back on. And so as the night progresses, we're going to see things come up. As Nadir said, it is a balancing act. So sometimes it's not going to come up as fast. We're not going to rush it. We understand that it's an inconvenience, and we deeply apologize to our customers, but it's a process that we must do slowly and systematically because it's a balancing act. And so we know that we are in the throes of it, and as the night progresses, we'll give regular updates as to how many people are coming back on our grid.
But at this moment, you don't know how many people are still out?
We know, but we're doing this systematically, and the good news is, again, Sean, that the city of Hamilton is up and the hospital is up, but we do not have an affected customer number that we can share at this time.
And do you know the cause? You still don't know the cause?
So at the end of it, right now, we have done a network analysis, and we're looking to see and understand what transpired. At the end of the process, we do something that is called a root cause analysis. After the root cause analysis is mandated in law, and we give that to the RA, and we start sharing what the problem was. At this stage, we're working through a process, we're doing it systematically, and at the appropriate time, we will share the root cause analysis with the RA and with the general public.
Well, what's the situation at the old plant and the new plant? Are they both being investigated?
They're not both being investigated. So this is an island-wide outage, and so we left no stone unturned. And so we've looked at all of our power plants, we've looked at all of our substations, and we're making sure that we understand this outage. We're putting together a plan of restoration, and after we put together the plan of restoration, we start to restore generation and start bringing back up the island systematically. At the end of it, we will share a report with the public, which is called a root cause analysis, that we will happily share what has transpired.
Finally, do you have an estimate or a guesstimate of when most people will get their power back?
I think that, and I understand the question and what it means. It is a Friday night. This is a night where people leave work, They have kids home that were playing a Fortnite. There are people that were looking forward to going out to dinner. And we have people now that in the thongs of it, in the thick of it, are home without electricity. It is our main effort to get the power back on, but to do so safely. As the night progresses, we will come back and we will give you updates as to who is back on and our success. Right now, we have Hamilton on and we have the hospital on. Our next briefing will be at 8 p.m. and we'll be able to give you a further update.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Cairns. Good evening. There's not much more to add other than I want to reiterate that restoration efforts are underway, and at this point, public safety is key. So I implore the public to stay off the roads so that we can allow the emergency vehicles to get to and fro to do what they can to get us back online as quickly as possible. As was already reiterated, the EMO is here, assembled at Belco. So all hands are on deck, not only the members of Belco, but all the relevant services are here. The engineers, as we speak, are continuing to assess the grid, and some of our customers, as you have already heard, are back on. So Belco, as they have already reiterated, are working diligently, and we should be up in good time. We don't know when, but I just have to reiterate that Belco is doing what they can and they're working diligently. Thank you.
Minister, are you concerned about knock-on law and order issues like a possible increase in robberies and stuff?
Not really, but I have the Emergency Matters Organization here, and I have the acting chief of police here. So all relevant organizations are here assembled, and we will be deployed as needed.
Have you drafted in extra police officers who went on duty to help deal with the situation?
Good evening. Yes, I could speak to that. So from the impetus of this, naturally officers were pulled together to work to maintain safety within our community, and we are looking at bringing in additional officers to do exactly what you were saying. We recognize that some businesses are without power, some communities are without power, so we're going to do all we can to have reassurance patrols within those neighborhoods and also to check on businesses alike.
How many are you expecting to bring in extra?
Well, we don't have an exact number right now. We're actually trying to do all hands on deck. As you could imagine, you would have seen numerous officers out there supporting today, and I also just want to take this time to thank the members of the public. As we went throughout the city today, people were patient, and we also had members of the public who was trying to also assist with traffic. So I just want to say thank you to those that assisted, but I also want to say at this time we're trying to bring in everybody that we can to assist throughout tonight, but obviously we also have to plan for tomorrow as well. So we're trying to have contingency plans to deal with that.
Reassurance patrols, is that merely to reassure people, or are they also there as deterrents to stop criminals taking advantage of the situation?
Well, it's going to be twofold. So obviously, as the police, we do know of some vulnerable persons within our community, and we're going to try to check on those persons. We also ask the community to also assist with those patrols within their community. So if you know of someone who is without power and if they're vulnerable, just go please and check on them. But as far as the reassurance patrols, yes, for the everyday lay citizen, yes, we're trying to put patrols out there so they could be reassured in this time, but also to others that are using this as a time to look for some criminality to try to defer from doing that right now.
Thank you. Minister Weeks, will there be involvement of the regiment in this situation?
Well, all the relevant organizations are here assembled, and we have the commanding officer of the regiment as part of that assembly.
Thank you.
I do have a question for Becca, if I may.
Yes, ma'am.
Lisa Bernardo with Video Broadcasting News.
Hi, Lisa.
The emergency channel on the radio has been reporting confirmed reports of a fire inside of Belco. Can you speak to this, if this is true, and if so, where and why?
I can speak to that. We have our teams looking at everything, and as a precaution, we are going to listen to what everyone has to say. Right now, the main effort is to make sure, number one, there was no loss of life, there was no injury to personnel. We understand that as our grid comes back up, we will get a report at the end of the evening. Again, we're going to do something called a root cause analysis. And so for us, every word has a meaning. When people say fire and cause, we're looking at everything. And in order for us to do this systematically, to make sure that we understand this crisis and put a plan together, we're going to wait until we get a formal report from the team, and then we'll give a root cause analysis. To give what people say hearsay and to give conjecture, it doesn't take us any further. What we can say, we're in the midst of a restoration, and we have Hamilton back online, we have the hospital back online, and at 8 o'clock we'll share with you some other updates as and when the information becomes available.
So you cannot confirm right now whether there was a fire or not?
And so what we're going to do now is we're going to look at the grid, we're going to have conversations with everyone, we're going to put all of the information together. At the conclusion of it, as we bring things up, at the end of it, we're going to put together something called a root cause analysis. And that will be a systematic explanation of the entire process and what took place.
Okay, and at this moment in time, should the public prepare to be without power overnight?
I think right now we have the ability to look at the cadence. If a person has a generator, if they have a vulnerable person in their house, they need to immediately get to the hospital. So if you have life-saving kit or equipment in your house that you need and you don't have a generator, you need to go to the hospital, because we do not want any significant event as a result thereof. If you have a generator in your house, it makes sense to get it prepared to come back on. But what we're doing is we're going to spend the next couple of hours with our team bringing up the island systematically to make sure that we have a full restoration to 100% uninterrupted supply of power to the people of Bermuda.
And finally, will there be subsequent press conferences after 8 p.m. this evening?
We are here for the entirety of it. Our team, everyone is embedded, and we will not leave until everyone has their electricity restored.
Thank you.
3 hours into an emergency, shouldn't you know whether there's been a fire or not?
So the questions that everyone is posing, it is for the public's information. What I want to make sure that we do is that we have key information to give. What I want the public to know, that no one was hurt, that our systems are being analyzed, and that everything is being brought back up. And the main effort is not to give conjecture, is not to give everyone anything that is salacious. At the appropriate time, I want to make sure that everyone has the information. We want to know what has caused the outage. That is the main effort. And once we have the information, Sean, we'll make sure that you are one of the first people to know.
But surely to avoid conjecture, the best way would be to say whether there's been a fire or not.
What I'm telling you now is the team are providing me information at the appropriate time. The team will sit down, we will look at the information, and then we will be able to provide you that information.
Thank you.
Thank you for your patience, sir.
I have one more question.
Absolutely. What is your name again?
Elisa.
Alisa, thank you for your question.
No worries. So every 15 minutes, the emergency radio station is reporting that there was a fire. Is this misinforming the public?
What I can tell you is that we have the emergency broadcasting station. They are here now. We have not had the opportunity because they were not in the press briefings to give them the press briefings. You have been here, and so you've been getting everything as we get it. You've been getting information that is tested, that our team have given us, and at the appropriate time, we'll assemble everyone and we'll give you all the information that we have. What we don't want to do is make things salacious. What you do know now is that we have an island-wide blackout. What is the main effort? The main effort is restoration. What is our team doing? All hands are on deck to give restoration to the people of Bermuda.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Sir?
Yep.
Thank you, everyone. See you later.